News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Dan Schwartzman. We check markets all day long here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 finishing up 0.9%. The Nasdaq closed up 1.3%, while the Dow gained 0.4%. The 10-year yield is at 4.14%. Some stunning political news as New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has tweeted on X that she has made the decision to suspend her campaign for governor and won't be seeking re-election to Congress. Stefanik has served in Congress since 2015. Under a new law called the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the Justice Department has released hundreds of thousands of records from the Jeffrey Epstein files today. That said, the department is falling short of the mandate from Congress to release all the documents, as Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche admitted that the Trump administration would miss today's deadline to release the Epstein files, telling Fox and Friends host Lawrence Jones that some of the documents would be released on time and others over the, quote, next couple of weeks. President Trump announcing deals with 9 pharmaceutical companies, including Bristol Myers Squibb, Gilead, and Merck, to lower drug prices for some Americans in exchange for a 3-year reprieve from threatened tariffs on their products. The companies have agreed to lower prices for the Medicaid program, sell discounted drugs directly to consumers, and launch new medicines for the same prices in the U.S. as they do abroad. The Trump administration halting the U.S. green card lottery program, which it said was used by the suspect in the Brown University shooting, as well as the killing of a Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor. The lottery program awards about 50,000 visas annually. It is designed to boost arrivals from countries with low rates of immigration to the U.S. Bloomberg's Alexander Pearson says we may not have heard the last from the administration when it comes to visas.
There are many different visa categories, many different avenues that the Trump administration could legally pursue to tighten immigration. We saw that they expanded the travel restrictions to even more countries after, in the wake of that shooting of the National Guard members. So at this point in time, it doesn't seem like this might not be the end. I mean, coming into 2026, we might see even further immigration restrictions coming from this administration.
That's Bloomberg's Alexander Pearson. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling it an important victory for his country. The European Union agreeing to a 2-year, $106 billion loan for Ukraine after marathon talks in Brussels. Bloomberg's Oliver Crook reports the loan will be backed by joint debt, not frozen Russian assets, a move the Kremlin is greeting with relief.
They like to paint this as saying that actually seizing these Russian assets would make the Europeans very vulnerable. It would endanger the EU and their legal standing and the euro. I don't think Russia cares very much about the standing of the euro and the legal standing. I think for them, it is very much a relief that they're not taking these assets, because this is something that the Russians have really upped the rhetoric on the last couple of weeks.
Bloomberg's Oliver Cook reports Ukraine would only repay the loan if Russia doesn't provide reparations for the war. Otherwise, the frozen assets would come back into play. TikTok owner ByteDance is on track for profits of roughly $50 billion in 2025 after amassing net income of about $40 billion over the year's first 3 quarters. The company has surpassed its internal target for this year. TikTok also announcing it has finally signed an agreement to create a new U.S. joint venture run by an investor group led by Oracle. The venture will operate as an independent entity that will control data protection, content moderation, and algorithm security. The new company will have a 7-member majority American board of directors. Chinese regulators, though, have yet to approve the deal. Oracle's stock jumping over 7% today on the news. Nike stock closed down over 10.5% after the company announced they expected revenue to be down in the low single digits in the 3 months that began December 1st due to a sales decline and weakness in China and with its Converse brand. The world's largest sportswear company is currently in the midst of a turnaround with a new CEO, but is heading toward its 4th consecutive annual decline. Converse sales plunging 30% in the latest quarter, while sales in China fell 17%. Bloomberg's Valerie Teitel has more.
They warned that sales will be declining this quarter amid persistent weakness in China, which is a surprising turn of events after 2 straight periods of sales growth for Nike.
That's Bloomberg's Valerie Teitel. This has been a tough year for many Americans finding a job, and many forecasters don't expect 2026 to be much better, as we hear from Bloomberg's Nathan Hager in Washington.
Economists surveyed by Bloomberg expect unemployment to stay elevated through almost all of next year, even with the economy continuing to grow. It's an unusual combination, they say, is powered by artificial intelligence spending driving the expansion without boosting hiring. They say it will likely mean another year of limited job opportunities, cooling wage increases, and a greater reliance on health care, which accounted for nearly all of 2025's job growth. In Washington, I'm Nathan Hager, Bloomberg Radio.
That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Dan Schwartzman, and this is Bloomberg.